Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a session. It's 9:55, 10 in the morning. It's Monday. It's 14th of April 2025. Okay, what was surprising, even though the pendulum, I have not checked with the pendulum off camera. It's a nice bright sunny morning. I don't know. I don't see anybody over here. My door is shut. That's my main door. I don't see anything. Making noise and talking some nonsense is not making sense to me. I'm in my residence. I wouldn't like you try to change identity and steal. It's not good. I don't know what it is you were trying to prove or what it is you're trying to get to. It's just not making sense. So instead of disturbing the read, passing cheap comments and making all kinds of audio sounds, why don't you keep it quiet instead? It'll be good. Keep it quiet. Okay, so anyway, yesterday's read, I was told that you can close the read, right? Because yesterday I didn't have dreams that were connected with, other people's, let's just say other people's issues. I just had dreams where I was pretty blank actually. Not only blank, I was also like questioning a lot of things. My whole night yesterday went asking, it may be this way, it may be that way. Is it this way? Is it that way? Lots of questions. Okay, and what I got was almost immediately, let's just say the ancestry where I was born, except the A is not there, which means the Advani surname was not there. But if you want to think about it, Mr. Kanaya Lal's identity was there. Hukumat Rai Advani was there. Mr. Hukumat Rai Advani was there, and Mr. Gurmukh Das Advani was there. So we think about Kanaya Lal, Hukumat Rai, Gurmukh Das, but the Advani surname was not there. And it came to talking about my foot, the shot on the foot, which was found by Rosie in the earlier years in the 70s. I would have been hardly 1-2 years when she has discovered it. Being working in the office, it is possible I could have, wanted to go to the toilet and she's in and around, so she's told, okay, take her to the bathroom. Or she has taken me because she sees that I want to go to the bathroom, or I've gone to her and told her, take me to the bathroom, something of that sort. Maybe my mother could have been taking some class or something, I don't know. Or my mom could have been doing something else, I'm not sure. Okay, it could be something of that sort, but she has noticed, or playing with me, she could have, or with me playing in the office room, crawling around the whole house, or then, learning to walk around the whole house. You kind of notice, okay, the child has this, the child doesn't have that, because a previous read of mine did establish she was very surprised at the fact that all other babies had their shot on the arm, mine was on the foot. She was wondering why. Okay, me who has, you've cut my hand over here. I think you've done the same thing to replicate it for other people. You're trying to confuse somebody from finding me, is what I feel. So you're trying to confuse the whole issue. You played a filthy game. One more thing that I got is Varsha's friend was Divya, then Simal Lekhraj, and then Payal Sanin. You must have affected all of them much earlier. Divya Bhargava's mother, Varsha's friend, is Jetli's Muh Boli Bahan. Simal Lekhraj, his cousin brother, is Sanjeev Rajan Lekhraj. Payal Sanin is Piggy Chops. And Varsha Advani is Varsha Advani, who wears the star, and I don't know if she has those dreams. It is LK Advani who has dealt with SL, who's a stand-in for SRM. Instead of Sanjeev Rajan Lekhraj, the Sindhi boy, Mr. LK Advani has given work to who he thinks is a Sindhi, but that boy is actually is not who he says he is. He's from, I don't know, it says the OB category. That is the shapeshifter. It goes back to the 90s or early 2000. Not sure that only if LK Advani is alive would he know, but I doubt it. क्योंकि जो उसको रत्ना मिला है, जो कोई भी उसको मिला है, my understanding is when the original is alive, they harass the original. Then they get rid of the original and bring in the duplicate. Only then they give the award, not before it. Whatever harassment they would have done to the original, the duplicate will speak like it was harassment given to the duplicate. Actually, he's talking about his group of people who harassed the original. He will talk about those experiences with the face of the original but being the duplicate. They have played this for a very long time, is what I understand. Now, my reading said that LK Advani had given some work to the Sindhi Lekhraj boy, Sanjeev Rajan Lekhraj, thinking that decent Sindhis, given that they know how they function, what the thought process is, how they keep it as straight as possible, they're not going to mess around with it. He gave it to the wrong person only because the face had been changed. From there, they have never looked back. So, Jaitley also would have been affected the same way. LK Advani would have been affected. This is all 90s, mid 90s onwards, 93 onwards, 92 onwards, is what I genuinely feel. It is shapeshifters who would have gulmulaud with the original BJP. And from there, they would have never looked behind because the weapon would have been replication. फिर तो घुसते जाओ, घुसाते जाओ, ऐसे लोग जो under normal circumstances the BJP would have had them, even if they were opposition, they would have had them behind bars or debarred from the country itself. This is what has happened. One more thing, when it comes to Ankur Patodia, I suddenly remembered. Ankur Patodia हमको क्या कहता है? I've come back from Australia for a holiday from QUT for that little break during which my passport got stolen. He says, between when you see and meet or know a Sindhi, between a snake and a Sindhi, you should kill the Sindhi. इसने इतना भी बोला है. So what does it tell you in short? Well, if we've understood today in retrospect what they talk about, they tell you what they're doing, but they say it in a very unassuming manner as a part of a joke, or then just talking in general. But in that only is a lot of truth. So was he actually telling me that between the snake and the Sindhi, kill the Sindhi? Was he saying he had gone on a rampage, or he knew of those who had actually killed Sindhis? Snake stands for what? Transformation, shedding of skin, wearing a new skin. He has told me this in 1996. Was he establishing forced transformation? He was talking about virasat also at that time. He was also talking about, for one face you can have 6 duplicates. With the reference point was Madhuri Dixit and her middle class background and her refusal to do what the industrialists want her to do. So was he actually giving witness to it? My question about Ankur Patodia connected with that GTN textiles. Binod Patodia and Prabha Patodia's son, second son. Umang is the older son. Umang is at a dance band, Grant Road, Kamathipura somewhere, according to Ankur Patodia, when Umang's wife is producing a baby girl in the hospital. This is what he has said. To celebrate the birth of his daughter. So what I'm asking you is, was he actually telling us without our knowledge what was actually happening on the ground? The underground movement, because the underground movement is very different from what you see as an Amarsan's Park on the top or a Priyadarshini Park on the top. Priyadarshini Park may be bigger than Amarsan's Park, but both look similar. Both are sea facing. The bad PFI is in that area only. How did it happen? So are you telling me that the children born in the late 80s and 90s onwards were brought up by not their original parents but by shapeshifters in all these key houses, giving them very different values from what their original parents would have given them under normal circumstances? Is that what it means? Ankur Patodia also started taking out black and white photos of me, JAYA.ADVANI. Was he establishing on the back of it that when my passport has been stolen? 1996, first when I have reached, let's just say, the motel where all the Indian students gather together, 2-3 days after I have arrived in Australia. First I've gone to Kelvin Grove. I've stayed there for a couple of days. Then I have joined some other students in the motel on the way to Red Hill. From QUT, there is a route that goes to Red Hill. On the way, there is a motel over there, a hotel, motel, small little place. So we've all been put up over there for a week's time till we find a home individually or then as little groups to rent out. It's just a stop. Over there, my passport, TCs for currency and some little notes, all that gets stolen in that one wallet of mine, big wallet which I'm carrying with all the travel documents. But that gets stolen only for about 40 minutes, not more than 40 minutes, but it becomes a big deal. I'm crying and all that, and I just can't find it, and I'm very sad. So I start crying on the phone and I talk to my dad and whatever. But in 40 minutes, we find it. Okay, at that hotel, and then rest is history. Then that is the beginning. I've not even started college at QUT. We're arranging to settle ourselves first. Then I come back to Bombay for a term break. 2 semesters have gotten over. There is a break in between. It is Christmas, New Year's at Australia, Brisbane. Money is, of course, don't want to spend, want to also come back home. My father has also in the first semester told me, if you can't finish your education, you leave it and come back, because we are very homesick also. So we have cried on the phone second time, third time also, many times when we are in Australia. And so finally my dad says, okay, if you don't want to study, you just pack up and come. But then we push through and we stick on and we count the months when we'll be getting back to Bombay. Anyway, summer is very, like, let's just say the winter time for normal countries is different from Australia. It is the peak of summer and it goes to about 40-50 degrees, very dry climate, so it's really hot. So we are happy to get away to the cool climate in India, in Bombay. But it is in our semester break that again the passport gets stolen. And then Ankur is always fooling around, so we take it as it is a joke from his end. But when we've asked the pendulum whether the real Ankur Patodia who was going out with Rajat Kapoor's cousin Priya Kapoor was alive or is alive, we got no. That was a shapeshifter who came in for him. And yet again, rest is history. Now, what I just want to say is, if my reading earlier was getting bio-war or then fire, all I want to say is, whoever is the string puller on the outside of the chessboard, he will be safe, because that's how he's planned it. Everybody he's got either foolingly to work for him or then knowingly to work for him, he's not going to let you join him on the other side. उसने सेटिंग भरपूर तरीके से किया है, उसको पता है वो गेम के आगे है. He's not going to let you join him. You know too much. The greed for money and power is so much कि वो तुमको पीछे ही छोड़ देगा. Also, I want to say, if I was overqualified to have a job as just an MBA, wanting a job as a marketing manager or a senior marketing manager, and many times I was told you're overqualified by the HR departments of nice companies. So if I was overqualified for my job in the corporate sector as a marketing manager or even a marketing executive, anything. So when people have got their portfolios and have got their jobs, what are their qualifications that allow them to get the job? Surely not that they are underqualified or just rightly qualified. If an MBA for a marketing manager is overqualified, then what kind of people have been allowed into many portfolios, and what is their actual qualification? If it is because they are underqualified and fit for the job, or then their morals and ethics are of a particular kind which matches the requirement of that who has pulled all the strings, वो तुमको आगे नहीं लेके जाएगा उसके साथ. You just be assured. It's not to scare you, it's just to let you know. Because whether it is the bio or disease doesn't look, it spreads. Fire also just spreads. He just wants what he wants in Russia and America. That's it. Uske baad, he doesn't know anybody. That also you understand. And no, he is not Elon. You know who he is. You know it better than I know it, but the ground reality, हमारा duty as an outsider बनता है तुमको जो ground reality है वो तुमको बताना. बाकी you can understand it yourself. Anyway, coming to this reading, what I was surprised to see कि here we got Calcutta का Hooghly की kitty from the west. I don't know, I've never been to Hooghly. I've been to Calcutta, but Hooghly I don't remember. I don't know if in Kali Ghat, I had gone to Kali Ghat. Rajat had taken me over there, Banerjee. So once we had gone to the temple over there, and there is a river outside, or there was some water thing outside. But the point is, I'm not sure. But Hooghly West, I'm not sure what that is. Kitty, I have never been a kitty. So I don't know. Who is this talking about also? I'm not sure. But if you know, then it's good if you can fit Hooghly West. What are we to understand? Maybe there is somebody from Calcutta who crossed paths with us. Are you with me? I just needed to finish this last part of it because I got this. I want to understand, am I a Bengali? Is my DNA actually a Bengali Hooghly West DNA? Is there a clone for me who is from Hooghly West? Is it somebody else who crossed paths with us who is from Hooghly West? From Calcutta in some way? Was she the mother figure? Did a clone enter into our setup and is from Calcutta at some point in time? Was it for Varsha, the clone? But is there any interaction with Hooghly West? One of our relatives, actual relatives who lived somewhere in Calcutta? One of our Sindhi relatives who lived in Calcutta? So then India Book House, there is only one man. I don't remember his name, but there were 1-2 families Sindhis in Calcutta. I think the man was connected with India Book House directly or indirectly, not sure. So this is yet again going and giving that connection. Okay, I just needed to know. Okay, so yet again that's the Advani family, or some network over there. Okay, so I'm going to close this because ultimately I'll put it up, but I will leave it at this only. I think better to leave it at this. Flight I don't know if this is how you spell stove. I have a feeling over here somebody was, you know how when I'm sitting over here you play all different kinds of sounds, which is very different from what actually my home over here is. So I'm sitting over here, I'm doing this read. When earlier, when I said stop playing sounds, I'm doing a serious read, you were playing the sound of a mop, and parallelly to the sound of the mop, you said something about making that either my profession or making it my friend, but there is no one here. There's nobody over here. This is empty space. I live alone. So what it is saying is, when in 1997, 98, not even 97, it's 98, I was working with Jones Lang LaSalle. So they used to send us on projects at least twice a month. So we used to go, depending where they say you need to do the valuation, property valuation. I'm still very big, I'm a baby in their company. I'm an executive, I'm a research executive for property. So I'm good at collating the information, not collating, collecting it, and then with the help of those who are overlooking the whole process, the final valuation, only the, don't know if he was the head, yeah, they used to call him the head, no, vice president. So he used to be the head of the research, Mr. Was his name Rampal? So there used to be a man called Rampal. I don't know anything else about him. Then there was one man from the army also, retired from the army. I don't remember his name. One Shaw also used to be there. Anyway, there were different components. So Rampal used to help do the final valuation. So we do all the groundwork, we put the report together, but the final computation of the valuation, which he only knows how to do. We don't know how to do it. I don't know, I'm not studied for it. There is a man called Matt who tells me if you work long enough over here, then Jones Lang Wooten will send you to London Business School to do for 2 years. There is a course for becoming a chartered valuer of property. So you will get a chance, because he became the head of, or he was second to the head at Jones Lang Wooten or Jones Lang LaSalle. After working for 2 years, then they sent him to further study. I told you what my upbringing is. So studying further is not exactly on the cards. So when he told me that, it sounded like a punishment, frankly telling you. हम बोलो अभी ख़त्म करके आ गए हैं, but my papa and my mom and all in the infancy to have brought me up differently. So why I have to work? पूरा जितना कलेक्शन किया है, क्या किया है, किस चीज़ के लिए किया है? तो तो why I have to work? तो उसका सुना लेकिन कुछ बोला नहीं, लेकिन I was not happy with the thought of studying further. I thought, well, whatever. So anyway, that's the time I would have been flying once a month, twice a month to wherever they sent. And they sent us to Singapore also for 1 month, where we learned some principles of real estate. Like this 10 months went. But during those flights, apparently, I don't know if he did this to safeguard me in some way. They used to play the sound of the stove, like I'm over the chula. This is what it is saying in all probability. So when I am sitting over here, to safeguard me, because my mom used to be petrified as a child, somebody should not come and kidnap me. So this is the reason why there were very strict rules and regulations, which used to din into my head every day. Okay, so I'm guessing this was not done from a viewpoint of, I think it was done primarily to safeguard me in the most cost effective way, is what I'm guessing, without disturbing anybody else's monies. So I know there are times when I would have been traveling and the flight would have been delayed for 3 hours. I'd be sitting in the airport, I go to the bookstore, pick up some novel, then I'm sitting in the airport reading the book. All I do is read new novels, waiting for the flight, then when it will come and we can move on. So we never get agitated, and we're young, so we don't get tired. Now we get tired, so we get agitated. There's a big difference. That time though we are very young, so we're okay, we just sit over there reading, no problem. For us it's like a break. We enjoy it in fact. Once we reach Bombay, then we have to go to the office. So which means again we're back to work. So we in fact enjoy it कि हमको break मिला है. एयरपोर्ट में आराम से बैठो, कुछ खाओ पियो और नॉवल उठा के पढ़ो. So I used to actually enjoy it. Anyway, at that time what they were doing is they were typifying me on that digital network of theirs where AI is silently recording things about us. I'm guessing what they were doing was something of this sort. Very much, the camera would not have picked up when you would have probably thought I'm mad when I'm saying, don't disturb. That's because, what they do, they take a loud mop. And then, you know how the mop does something like this, ऐसे कुछ when it hits something, तो वो करते हैं और फिर बकवास side by side करते हैं. Now you cannot hear it. तू तो सुन नहीं सकता है. I can hear it. Recording doesn't catch it in this way. It can catch it in another way. But that's what happened. That is why earlier I said what I said. Okay? Just to check if I have understood it properly, and if not fully properly, but at least halfway properly, I think we should ask the pendulum. The pendulum can say a yes or a no. Okay, if I can ask you a question. 1 minute, let me bring this forward here. Okay, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? After 1996, or maybe, okay, let's just say after 1996, 1997, this stuff that I can hear happening, which AI records, but the reality on the ground is very different. So I'm doing a session here inside my home. I'm all alone. Yet the talk via the fan that I can only hear connected to whatever device fitted into my body or fitted in my ear, and then whatever sound effects done change the entire situation for a listener. Whereas the ground reality of my home is completely different. Did they do that during my flights also at some point in time? And if not my flights, other people's flight also? Whenever I was traveling, whenever and wherever I was traveling, were they actually putting sounds very different to the listeners from what I was actually doing? Was it to disrepute me? Was it as a safety measure, as a defense safety measure for my safety? Was it as a joke? Was it to disrepute me? Was it done with the idea of disreputation? Was it done with the idea of creating woe? Or disreputation? So was it done primarily with the idea of defamation? This comes from whom? This comes from the Indians? This thing has happened from the Indians? This thing has happened from the Pakistanis? Are you saying it is a handshake between the ISI and the poor Marathis? Or then the ones who were working at the bottom of the pyramid? Has it come from them? And then of course there is a Dalit crowd that also joined them and sold secrets to China about India and then earned a lot of money on the back of it. So is that what the problem is? Now I want to understand, Varsha's friend was Payal Sanan, Shimal Lekraj and Divya Bhargava. Divya Bhargava is some indirect connection to Arun Jaitley. Shimal Lekraj is some direct connection to Sanjeev Rajan Lekraj, Cotton World Boy. And Payal Sanan is Piggy Chops. Varsha being whoever Varsha is. She's supposed to be my sister, JAYA.ADVANI. Was the Lekraj family and Jaitley's family or Bhargava family Reardo entry messed with, along with LK Advani, by the same crowd that was earlier discussed, which means you said it was Gangaram and Vatsala. And people like them connected and then they took it back to earlier people who worked in our home. All of them primarily. So you say on their back there is a lot of murder, stealing, cloning. That's the underground movement. Snake and Sindhi kill the Sindhi. The snake stays. But the snake is the python, is under the trenches or in the trenches. Everything looks fine on the top, but the underground movement silently did away with key people. One example is the bad PFI at Nepean Road, connected with PDP being Priyadarshini Park, and then like it the Amarsons Park. Forced transformation is stealing the genes and the DNA, and re-engineering the genes or the stem, etc., etc. That's forced transformation. Grabbing DNA of people who got given birth because of an atmic journey, got a decent birth, stolen by those asur crowd who got their poor births because of bad karma done before. Proved in this birth that they did the same worse bad karma from chain snatching and pocket mar because of pet ka sawal, majboori hai. Now they've gone and stolen DNA itself, or then cloned people and sent them from very bad backgrounds into all the good backgrounds, and then with forced transformation wanting to transform society. And doesn't matter if you're a Marathi or you're not a Marathi in Marathi land, because the Mahajans, as well as, let's say, I don't know whether the Thakres got affected, but many people got affected. So homegrown merchant is Gujarati. Kira is a stand-in for a Gujarati. There's a big difference between the original merchant's birth and Kira's birth. गेरुआ सैफरन ज़्यादा कश्मीर खाता है. शंकर मठ के शंकराचार्य पिंकिश पीचिश रोब्स पहनते हैं, कपड़ा जो है पिंकिश पीचिस. अमृतानंदमयी माता's ashram is white. A saffron is a Kashmir issue. Saffron is a Kashmir issue? No? Is the saffron party BJP? No? Is something used by the infiltrators who are primarily criminals to hoodwink everybody. Halfway there but not fully there. It's a maybe. Okay, it is a tactic primarily because India is a Hindu nation, primarily a majority of Hindus, that is used as an excuse for pulling all the strings to get people to do the job. But will they all be fooled finally? Has it been used as a tactic primarily to get them to work for whoever it is who's pulling the strings on the outside of the chessboard? Is it on the back? Are they coming for India on the back of destabilizing America and Russia is my question. That bunch. Is India the last on the plate? Okay, so you must understand the fans are very high, but I believe it's saying a yes. India is last on the plate. It is to hoodwink you. I told you before only, looking at it. I don't know how you have not been able to identify the foul play. I don't know how you've not been able to see through it. We wish well for everybody. Yo K Twilight Sophie. SOFIE. So are we talking about Sophia in some way? Not sure. KF. Is there anybody in a Fernandez home जिसका नाम KF है? या वो शेप शिफ्ट कर रहा है अडवाणी के लिए है तो फर्नांडिस. Ghosh had talked about me being too comfortable out of a marriage. So why I will ever want JAYA.ADVANI वापस शादी क्यों करेगी? So they started playing filthy with me inside Advani household. Any Fernandez ever shape-shifted both for Kareena Kapoor or Katrina, mostly Kareena Kapoor, and for Ghosh in the Advani household, but is actually a Fernandez? Rosie Fernandez के कोई रिश्तेदार, Rocky Fernandez or Tony Fernandez. I am not your mate, nor am I your date. Get that into your bloody fucking head. I'm your ex-employer 2 times over. One's granddaughter, the other one's daughter. Don't fucking play stupid sounds from my body, you dumb fuck. घटियापन का एक हद होता है. Yeah, between a snake and a Sindhi, kill the Sindhi. So the snake can keep snaking around. Venomous as shit. Grabbing things, dusifying those who are the employers. Then changing face and getting into their homes. Grabbing assets. Slums of Bandra East. Pocket mar, chain snatching. Ab ghar snatching. Asset snatching. Identity theft. All the way to what? You will make India great on the back of those tactics. किसको fool कर रहा है? You are going to work the government, you are going to work the police, you are going to work the law, you are going to work the Indian army with your ethics. क्या जोक मार रहा है? बासी जोक है, बदबू of a silent fart. That means this guy has gone and met Sophia. But who has gone and met Sophia? Sophie पे कौन थूका था? Plastic doll. Sophia the humanoid. Who went to Alo Palto 5 months before Sophia was removed and then shown to the whole fucking world. Straight out of Tesla's setup at Alo Palto. Mr. Modi went there. What is his connect to all of this? It is saying a shapeshifter for Mr. Modi is connected to the Kamwali bai who worked in my home. But that girl, as a young girl, had also worked at Nirmala and Parsaram Mirchandani's home at Sindhu Building at Marine Drive. We stay at Marine Lands. So she actually started working as a Kamwali bai, Chutta Kamwali bai, when she was, I don't know about how old, not sure, but in her young age. So she could have been, frankly, not sure at all. When she's come to work in my home, 1984-85 sometime, she has brought herself to work at our home on hearsay that the woman who was working at our home, coming every day from Ray Road, which is about 15 minutes away, but you take a train ride from there. She was somebody who was working and was supporting 2 orphan grandchildren of hers only, a boy and a girl. She committed suicide. So the boy and the girl were left to fend for themselves. My reading says that boy and girl was brought up by the ISL or shaking hands with the ISL. The old woman who committed suicide in her place, the Kamwali bai who did work in my home for 15 to 18 years, presents herself at my home, starts working at my home, and the comfort level is that she has worked for Parsaram Mirchandani, who is my father's younger brother's wife, her home. On the other side of the railway track, sea facing. That's a huge Sindhi community on that side. Again connected. Rear door entry, where all did you fuck up and mess up for your forced fucking snake venom scrap transformation? All underground movement. You are not capable of handling the welfare of India, to tell you quite frankly. जिसको हैदराबाद सिंध और हैदराबाद जो आंध्र प्रदेश में है उसका फ़र्क इसको इतना जीके नहीं है, जनरल नॉलेज, तो इकोनॉमी का क्या बात करे. जो चेन स्नैचर है और जो पॉकेट मार है और थीवरी वो कुछ दूसरे लेवल पे लेके जावे क्रिमिनल बन के, उसको वो तो आता है, वो है PhD. But when it comes to for an MBA being overqualified for the position of a marketing manager, then what is qualification for a marketing manager? A 10 standard fail, or someone who's a good हाथ मार and a pocket मार, जिसको तू mold कर सकती है, who's hungry, will do anything for the money and for the race, should not come from a good family, should be ethically little unrighteous, because Jaya is too righteous. According to Ritu Malia, 1998, 99, 2000, doesn't have that much love for money. So then what are your qualifications, wherever and whatever positions you've got? High levels of हाथ मारना, is it? झूठ बोलना, criminal. ये उसमें तू PhD किया है और वो तुमको एक right candidate बनाता है. So someone went and spat at Sophia because she came from a good bloodline. ये तेरे leaders और उनके नीचे जिन जिन को उन्होंने jobs दिया है. But isn't India supposed to be an intellectual pool on the back of the real Indians? Intellectually high levels of, then why do we have so much unemployment? और जिनको employment मिला है वो कौन से quality के हैं? उनको employment क्यों दिया है? Your loft weight SK. Or lot weight SK. So somebody has worked for SK but is KF actually, or is connected I think to somebody who worked in our home. So this goes back to those two boys who are the contractors. मेज़नाइन जो है वो एक लॉफ्ट होता है. जब सरोज was ran away with the boy from our home for taking in a balcony, the olden style, not like this, and let's just say making the drawing room bigger or the bedrooms bigger. It was the whole house which was it was all taken in. And so what happens is over there the wall is up to here and those are windows on the top. So windows are fitted on the balcony outside and this is removed, so the room becomes bigger. That work had been given for I think only the bedrooms, and that work he was supposed to finish in a stipulated time, within whatever time. It went on for many months. That was because there was somebody having an affair in there. Amongst the two boys, one's name was Salman. They were good looking boys, tall and good looking, but they looked like, you know, that in those days, like if you think about Nick Kershaw and all of those singers, they got big hair. They used to have that kind of hair, the tall boys. That was the style of that time. Now one of them had an affair with Saroj, the maid who was working at my home. So that is the reason, and nobody in the house frankly knew about it, to tell you really frankly, nobody. Just wondering ये इतना time क्यों लगा रहा है, इतना time बीत चुका है, everything is open, so it needs to be covered and finished. So my father lost his temper and then Before that, a young fair boy also came, a third party. That boy's height is, I think, not more than 5'6", 5'7". When these two boys who have been working in our home now for a few months, and they are good lookers, suddenly this small little short boy comes in and he's very fair. The other two are not so fair. Yet, the short boy who's so small and fair is very tiny compared to these two. ये उन दोनों का दादा बनता है. So when he comes to the house and he walks, our rooms over there, our bedrooms were one after the other. So he walks from one room, he walks through the passage, walks through one room, then goes into the second room and goes to the last room, one into another. And then he also goes to the front of the house in the opposite direction. So over there we're just watching. We've come back from school and we're getting, we are in the process of now, whatever the little time we get, we have to go to our tuitions at Mrs. Solomon's home. So we're preparing for that. So we just look at it and we see that this guy, even though he is so small and he's so short, but he's got a very white, nice, fair face. He's gone marching to the last bedroom and then marched out, but the two tall boys are like his wings. So they surround him and allow him to be the center of everything. And even though his size is so small, those two are actually kind of in service to the short little small boy. He's very authoritative. And that's what stands out. And that's happened in my home only once. It is connected with something like this only. Why is the loft important? The loft is important primarily because maybe in my home they put something in the loft, or then the girl called Saroj, who within no time ran away, just disappeared. And after a few months she comes back with the story she's pregnant, and that one of those boys who she had an affair with promised her marriage, and she even gives the place. It's a wooden room in the back lanes of Crawford Market, somewhere in that Muhammad Ali Road, Abdul Rahman Street, in the back lanes, inside somewhere. He has promised to marry her, got her pregnant, then left her and disappeared. This is what she says. And she wants the job back at my home, which my father absolutely says no. The loft becomes important because in those homes, they do have mezzanines and all. So is this connected something to do with that time? Because that time is what I'm saying, that rear door entry of replicas were probably one by one. I've given you a cutoff of what? 86, 87, where all this has started. By 89, तो I think full-fledged. Cortex on, cortex off. पता नहीं क्या करते रहते हैं. अब any homegrown Indian knows about it. Yeah, using this as a weapon, they got rid of so many who were capable of governance, whether you are minority party, whether you are opposition, whether you are the Congress. So my understanding is this is the weapon, one of the weapons, in the hands of people highly unethical, and unethical from very poor lokas atmically. You come to know with the way they exercised this one birth to grab what it is that God didn't give them, what ethics they put to use, how much they manipulated things, how much they twisted the truth, how much they had to play around with things. You need to figure it out. Yole of sick weight, I don't know what that is. Did they go and hide some people in some loft? You remember what Varsha told me? Look how they've kept us. So that was kind of a mezzanine. It's also a loft. with all the railings, and that's like a go down. And she's pretty sad in my dream, and she's saying, look how they have kept us. Down are all those metal sheets, one piled up on the other. Yo to loft we sigh SK. Were these people done away one by one this way? Over here we have the Sikh girl also, who is Sara Kaur. So over here, I don't know, I don't think Shamlu Sharma was a Sikh. I don't think Shamlu Sharma was a Sikh, but Sara Kaur and her sister were definitely Sikh from the Sardar community. My reading is saying neither AK nor his wife, Sara Kaur, are alive. They've got shapeshifters for them. I don't know about her brother or her older sister. Shapeshifter है एक TNAP से जो उसके लिए काम किया है. I am not a shapeshifter, I am a Sindhi Amil. We and the Sikhs get along pretty well simply because we go to the same Gurudwara from my Nani Dadi's time. Pre-partition days. Whether it is the wedding or the funeral, वहीं पे होता है at the Gurudwara. अगेन टॉफ़ी का नाम आ गया है. आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इट इज़ विद द टॉफ़ी. हुकूमत राय आई डोंट थिंक वॉज सो मच टॉफ़ी. कनी वॉज टॉफ़ी. Your toffee was still KHG. So what did I tell you about the lands pre-partition? Maybe some of these guys in the partition entered into India and became Indians. But their problem is not as Indians. Their problem is the pre-partition days. Maybe somebody was not happy with deals not being done individually with, let's say, wherever the farmland was being looked after. So it is possible that when the deal was done directly with whoever the government was and a paltry sum connected with the land in relative terms to how much my grandfather would have earned had he sold it individually to people, hung on, bought into the kitsch of negotiation and sold it individually. Perhaps the government dealt with the people in a different way from what my grandfather would have or how they would have. So maybe there are some people who felt that they were left without a daily bread suddenly at the hands of whatever was left in the government over there in those days, and they blame my grandfather for taking the easy way out. But my grandfather being somebody who's got hadith, it means he doesn't want to fight with people, he doesn't want to waste time arguing. So he says anyway it's going to the government is for the people, but that is pre-partition 4 years. Whether India and Pakistan will come about or not come about is anybody's guess. It did come about 4 years later. My grandfather moved from Sindh to Bombay 4 years is what my father says, when he was about 7 years old. So they have moved to Bombay about 3-4 years before the actual partition legally happened. So in Hindustan, they moved from one part of Hindustan to another part of Hindustan, from the northwest to the west, southwest or west. Perhaps there are some people, and the partition was not easy for anybody, especially those who left at the time of the partition did not really make the arrangements before, like my mom's side of the family. So perhaps this has got to do with a bunch of people, because the word till, toffee is primarily, if you think about SRK, he is toffee. Gangaram was toffee. Muthu Swami is toffee, but I think he's more South African. Rosie Fernandez was toffee, again South African. पक्का टॉफी जो है वो गंगाराम होवे या SRK, they are actually toffee skin. The driver Muthuswamy and the secretary Rosie are more South African with a darker skin tone. That's how we can say who is he speaking about. Till तो कोई ऑफिस के टेबल पे बैठ के टिलिंग नहीं करता है. ड्राइवर भी टिलिंग नहीं कर रहा है, वो गाड़ी चला रहा है. This tilling has to be pre-partition days in those lands, according to me, the till and the toil. A dark-skinned man who has worked on the opposite side of what today is the opposite side of the border, not happy with or feeling cheated of a deal done directly with the government of those days. And that government also finally changed and divided itself into the Congress in India and whatever was on that side in those days. So there is a bunch of very unhappy people on the back of the division. In later years, we had Thugs of Hindustan. That means that movie. There is a cat who's Suraiya and there's Amitabh Bachchan. Except that Amitabh Bachchan has youngsters doing his work for him. Like many are doing work for others. The Thugs of Hindustan is a mindset of people who feel some people in the division partition loot out Hindustan, got rid of Hindustan, got richer themselves on either side of the border, but left a community lesser off on the back of the partition. Mostly, this is talking about that crowd. The ones who got left behind. Now, whenever there is somebody who's entered our home and said, all this is mine, all this is mine, why do you think they would have said it? Surely not because of the land on which they were tilling and toiling, which belonged to my grandfather and my grandfather's father and his siblings, my grandfather's siblings. Surely not because in selling that land which belonged to them, the ones who were tilling and toiling on it felt that no, it was their hard work that got spent like water. Not understanding that the landowner is the landowner. He can do what he has to do. Any which ways, it's a crisis, a nationwide crisis, which ultimately leads to lots of massacre. Everyone knows about it. And a division of a land into two different parts. So all this is mine, whether it was at Fort Jaswal and the Advani home, whether it was said at the Lekraj home. Those are the two places that I have been a witness to. But logically, means the words actually being said that way. But logically, if we look, फिर तो merchant के घर पे भी वही हुआ है. Unhard tactics through the underworld. Where 500 crore ka property you offer 20 and 40 crores. After using the original resources, being my mom, connected with a large law firm. Did you pay them their money? How did you get introduced to those lawyers? Through the driver? Why? That's your comfort level? Why? the resources you cut through, calling it all this is mine, all this is mine, that person is actually known because of the Sindhi community to my mom during her school and college days. She would have never connected with him that way. Why did you do it that way? That also on the identity of my mom. Have you paid him? Because in Sindhis, you don't take anything for free. And when you take something, you bloody pay for it. तुमने क्या किया? किसी और के आइडेंटिटी को यूज करके तुमने पूरे सेटअप का क्या हालत बना दिया? कैन यू आंसर? ऐसे तुमने बहुत ऊपर नीचे किया है हर जगह पे. Now there is a Sofitel, not sure what Sofitel is. Okay, not sure what Sofitel is. I think it's a hotel. Do we have hotel over here? You know, I'm not shutting this because if I get something, this is somebody else, not me. But yes, some of the Advanis are in some hotel business. Not sure how it goes, but I think it is something to do with this. There connects, more large. Okay, you have to see yourself what it is, because frankly I'm not sure what it is, to tell you very frankly. They are in the college business, but there is a hotel also. There are some hotels also. Cow is a cow. She could be their relative. Whoever went on to become Sophie was not from a bad background. She was a good DNA. Otherwise, Modi उसपे, I'm not saying, जो कोई भी था, I'm not sure whether it was Modi, but whoever my reading was talking about, EA, shapeshifter, उस पे जाके थूकता कभी नहीं. Sophia, whoever contributed to Sophia was not treated properly. How many women are there? I don't know. The features were taken from 5 women, but the conscience was stolen from God knows what kind of women in which circumstances, and that is only one humanoid. What has happened behind the scenes with so many people? Let me tell you one thing, जो सिख है, लॉफ्ट से जुड़ी हुई, फिर हमारी बहन हमारे ड्रीम के अंदर आके बोले, लुक हाउ दे हैव केप्ट अस, वी आर नॉट फ्रॉम द स्ट्रीट्स. द वे योर आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, bottom of the pyramid, misused, empowered by those who empower themselves on the back of bad karma, wanted to project us, that also in a cheap manner, where your IT people say you've put into setting the next 400 years. तो फिर क्या ब्रह्मांड के अंदर जो लिट स्पिरिट रेल्म है वो एक जोक है. यू डोंट नो वहाँ पे एक काउंसिल है. यू डोंट नो कि ब्रह्मांड का जो साइज कंपेयर टू लेट्स जस्ट से योर बर्थ ऑन द अर्थ, somewhere over here, this is the earth, your birth on the earth, but that's the entire universe. You don't realize how many souls are waiting to actually get a birth over here, so that for better or for worse either they can enjoy or they can expedite their karma which they need to pay something debts off. You don't realize how much population there is out over there wanting to get a birth. So when you have wasted the way you have wasted it, so why you will get a visa? You will not get a visa. There's plenty of other candidates waiting to utilize their birth in a more appropriate manner. That's the reason you're waiting for 1 to 10 kalpas at the home earned by you. But if you understand what the home is that you have earned, you take Yudhishthira as an example. For half a lie, he had to go to Nark. For half an hour, 1 hour, whatever that time was, or for 5 minutes, which felt like it was 100 years, just by the sheer volume of what the energy at that realm was. You'll be in waiting list like the rest of them in that place going forward. Because there's too much in the Brahmand, too many contestants who wish to come to this planet and utilize their chance of coming to this planet in a better manner, which you completely violated. Now again we've got Kitty and Soft Kitty Hotel. KG's name is here, Kabir Gupta. I never realized that. Never realized that actually here we've got KG, SG, Koshi Gupta, Kabir Gupta, Subhash Gupta, no Akhil and no Nitesh. So Kabir, Subhash and Koshi. So it is possible that I was telling you about Koshi auntie saying I'm too comfortable being, Jaya is too comfortable, why will she marry, right? She's so very happy and she doesn't have too much on herself. So why will she marry? Then all the problems are just will started. For the point, and today you are sitting and making me Rocky somewhat. You converting me to have a liaison with Rocky. I have no liaison with him, I've never met him. He may have, through the crap that he's associated, fitted something into my body, but that doesn't make him very interesting. It doesn't change the fact that his mother was employed at my home and his grandmother employed at my grandmother's kitchen. It doesn't change that fact. Take the Advait, you're a Catholic. Open the Bible, see what it has to say. Don't dabble with things you are not capable of understanding. Whereas when we read things from childhood, we don't twist the truth the way you do it. So stay off my turf and don't twist the truth, because you and your community, whether today you are hiding out at the NDA as the whatever party it is worth being called, doesn't make you anything great. Bad karma is bad karma is bad karma. Your grandpa, for the positions you people are holding for a short while, but born in royalty actually a warrior, Yudhishthira, he couldn't get away with it. You do your own auditing. Don't waste your time with me. Don't waste time around me. I don't hang around people who lie, who steal, who cheat. Try forcefully disempowering people so that they can be someone, and that also on the back of high levels of poor karma. Kill the Sindhi when you see a Sindhi and a snake, and keep the snake alive. And if you belong to that group of snakes, then what can anyone say? You keep with your own community. I am not a snake. I am not poisonous. I would never poison somebody else's life so I can get ahead. I got enough of a breather once I leave the body back to my realm, something you don't have. So you do whatever it takes to have as much like a camel, storing your stomach with enough water before you go into the Registan for a very long time to come. My journey, my priority, my outcomes are completely different from you. Always remember it and act accordingly. If you have even 1 ounce of decency left in you, then you will vanish instead of making a mess of everything. You messy, sick soul. So soft kitty, KG, wo hotel. So maybe KG had a soft spot for kitty and it created woe for the hotel because he gave with wrong activity. Maybe kitty was kitty but was not Varsha. I don't know. Or maybe he gave with that kind of a person who was pretending to be someone who the person was not. They belong actually to the community of snakes. Forced transformation from a very bad background. He got caught. He's no more, nor is Akhil anymore. But what is their connections to what community? Then on the back of it in the MLM, who all got affected? How many homes, how many offices, how many businesses, including the United Breweries, Videocon, and then their further network, all on the golfing 1990s. Who all got affected? Who were all part of it? How many got replaced? How many businesses still exist? How many are shell? How many moved into the hands of the criminal cartel? Anybody's guess. That is the only Bangalore. What about Bombay? What about abroad? You're going to make the world a better place. Don't make me throw up. Keep the bullshit low. Kya hai? When you play fuck all sounds from under my hands, you bloody. Kya hai? Shrilly hijra. You sound stupid. Just keep it low. एक हाई पिच कर्ली ब्राउन फेस ब्राउनी बात करता है गॉली गॉली विद अ हाई पिच. कांट मेक आउट व्हाट ही टॉक्स. लड़की है लड़का है पता नहीं है. थिन वॉइस हाई पिच. अब पता नहीं क्या बकवास बात करता है बट ही इज एक्चुअली लाइक अ चीप जोक. कीप इट लिटिल लो ना. वी आर नॉट हियर लुकिंग एट कॉमेडी शो. नीचे रख. बहुत हो गया है. नो कॉमेडी. नीचे रख. You sound mighty stupid. Might बड़ा है stupidity का. Keep it low. My aunt used to wear fossil after some time and I used to wonder how come she is wearing fossil. How KG tie fossil? This would not have been done by her real son. Why, how, fossil tie, kg, kt. In short, foul play definitely happened. Maybe because if we think about it, what did I tell you? The shapeshifters go shapeshifting into those homes which are the most influential in a community. So in our community, who would have been most influential? They're the ones. JAYA.ADVANI was not that influential. There are some in the earlier years who were far more influential in their own right with lots of business, well established. Why would they spare them? Wouldn't they plug in their criminals there only? So the first tier is the topmost. 1 person in every family. Then as a consortium divided amongst opposites and different family, the ones who have been plugged in 1 in every family, they get together secretively and start destroying the others within the family. They have always gone for the position of the most influential, the one who's the decision maker. Whether the man or the woman, the one who holds power in the decision making in the house, they have always taken it from the top to the bottom. And they could have done this spreading themselves in key Sindhi families in the earlier years. Then as a consortium of duplicates amongst different key Sindhi families, they would have gone for wherever they see the chance to grab. Replicate, of course, along the way. Not to mention create confusion in understanding of who is who. यही इन्होंने किया है. They are very terrible souls. Can't stop repeating myself because till it doesn't get into your head what you are dealing with, one will have to keep reiterating what they are. So fossil watch my aunt used to wear. When was that? I think that was 2002 sometime. That is Kabir Gupta's mother, Roshi Gupta. And in fact, she gave me the watch to wear too. So I wore it. That's when I left the marriage. So whatever fossil stands for. Now if that also by association of wearing that watch for a couple of months, if you thought you were helping SRL because I left a marriage but you didn't know what happened on the back of it, then you were helping somebody who is not good. It is your choice to choose. I never ever decide, simply because we don't know what's behind, what is the surface on the top. Had you taken cognizance of what I said in those days, maybe this wouldn't have become the kind of mess it will go on to become. If Nepean Road, Priyadarshini Park and Amarsan's Park is bad PFI, I don't know what is left. Everything may look okay on the surface, but what is the underground movement and how you actually helped it determines your own journey going forward. I would never dabble in it. I'd keep myself out. I'll say I'm not the couple. I never slept in their bedroom. I would give benefit of doubt to both. I'd say it takes two hands to clap. It was their internal matter. I will not be actually taking action because tomorrow we don't know what is what. Why spoil our journey on the basis of somebody else's issues? I would keep myself out, and I've always done it. That way we stay safe. I'm pretty sure most people would think my way. Those who don't understand this are not from our setup. वो शेप शिफ्टर्स ही होंगे जो ऊपर नीचे चेहरा बदल करके, it's one of the things they do to force change within families. Though here we don't have the word EA. Why, how, footsie, L, KG, KT? Only they know what the truth is. For that they should be alive to tell the truth. KG is no more, is what it is saying. So is it a misunderstanding or was this their understanding? Not sure. Anyway, ultimately SL is not SRL. He's been called out to be the shapeshifter, Kira, mole. Also connected with whatever the OB category of people, along with the poverty-ridden people, handshaking with the ISI for extra money and then not really caring whether it is the ISI or it is the China's intelligence, not bothering about it as long as they are able to make money. Their thing is making the money, doing the job of complication as long as they make money from wherever the money comes, and then maybe exchanging information also. So they are better businessmen actually than the average citizen who now wants to get into language issues, wants to get into religious issues, various issues, but has not understood that it's about making the money. These guys make the money doing all the wrong karma. So those doing the right karma and making money, don't ever forget it's about making the money. Don't get into all these useless issues. The ones running the show are highly incompetent, with no ethics, no morals, so don't fall into their trap. That's all I'll tell you. Even those people with such poor ethics know the only thing is about making money. That's why they don't have loyalty towards anything. Agent Pakistan का होवे या agent China का होवे या agent कोरिया का होवे, जहाँ जहाँ पैसा बनता है बनाते जाते हैं. Nobody is theirs. Okay, why, how, footsie, SL, KG, KT. That is not the real Sindhi boy. This is half Sindhi and this is full Sindhi. That is supposed to be OB, pretending to be a Bhaiban Sindhi. क्या filth है. और उसके ऊपर फिर सोफिया निकली. Why are the hi-fi in the well of stool? KG, KT. This must be a loka you think you are sending them to, or you are putting the smell of stool on our clothes in the water that's coming into our Purva Palm Beach, Purvankara Palm Beach. That's a bio war. But your useless tactics doesn't affect people. You know why? You will do all the dance drama over here, but if pure gold or platinum is steeped in stool also, there will be a cleaning process. Once it goes back home, has a nice spa, bath, cleansing. हमको तो sun जाना पड़ता है. We need to go to the sun. Do you know how we get purified over there? Everything done by you goes to naught. पर जब तुम्हारा प्योरिफिकेशन होता है, when your purification will also go. तो जो कचरा आत्मा जो तो है, स्थूल भरा आत्मा जो तो असलियत में है, when you go to the same process of purification, all that compact fitted on you with silicone and क्या है पता नहीं क्या क्या यूज़ करते हैं, genome, re-editing, engineering, re-engineering, all that crap. When you go through the process of purification, फिर तो असलियत में क्या है आत्मिक रूप से, people shouldn't die of a shock watching your आत्मा. टॉफ़ी तो नहीं है, टॉफ़ी से कहीं ज़्यादा डार्कर शेड्स है आत्मिक रूप से. स्टूल तो स्टूल, ये तो स्टूल का माँ बाप है. तो anyway, whatever it is, hope you got my message. So anyway, these people have done lots of upar niche. On what grounds? Purely on the back of what they say, they have put into motion the next 400 years based on their Sata drive of classifying people according to their understanding. Is it really the truth? Anything but the truth. Now I want the Fernandeses to understand one thing. I'm not your relative. I'm your ex-employer's daughter, granddaughter. I did not contribute to the bottom of the pyramid because that's not my social network. If you have some dealings with them and you know what they have done, by creating problems you can't get me out of a problem. You have to be on one side. This is why I never mix it up. I never mix it up. I could have problems here for now, but whatever little problem I have in this body becomes of that magnitude for those who dared to do this kind of terrible deeds at an atmic level. That's something you need to actually establish and understand. So I'm not bothered. जो गलत कर्म करे फिर उसको कैसे डील करना है ऐसे आत्माओं के साथ, that the Brahman knows. There is a council, there is a law book in the Brahman, so they will apply it appropriately. All the examples are to here on earth. It is all well documented. No Baha'i, I am not Baha'i, I am Hindu. I have grown up the Hindu way. The Srimad Bhagavatam that you see there, Kamla Subramaniam. So like that there is the Mahabharata, in which Yudhishthira is very well mentioned, along with the Pandavas versus the Kauravas. I've read that when I was about 7 or 8. I don't know. My mom's alive, you can ask her when. When I was about 7, 8 years old. So I take my examples from there. I prefer not to be Sakuni and Duryodhan with all their feelings. Take good examples and can't be them. They're too big. But even if little we can understand and just get it as a guideline for our times, live accordingly, it's okay. What's the big deal? I am telling you, you go pick up the Purans. For the Hindus, go look at the Purans, see what it says. Go into the Bhagavatams. There is the Devi Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavatam. You go read. Garuda Puran jaake padho, Vishnu Puran jaake padho. See what all it is saying over there. Go pick up the Upanishads and see what it is saying over there. Apply it. Apply it appropriately. And for the others, you refer to your Bible, refer to your Quran, refer to your Granth Sahib, see what it is saying. I don't know which religion tells you to lie and be cheap. I don't think any of it does. Yet you have been all of it and worse. And then you dare to use, I don't know what word, Bahai. Not making sense. You're giving that religion a bad name actually. Are you with me? Now I want to understand, while I am not Katie Shahani's direct relative, the same network of JAYA.ADVANI connected with Katie Shahani, was that the network I was actually brought up by or then born to? Do I have anything to do with the Fernandez setup? These people are trying to equate me on their bullshit network with Rocky Fernandez. Do I even know the guy? Is there any connect other than him being, his mom and his grandmother being employed in my home? Are we connected in any other way except for a employer-employee kind of a setup? So would you say my relatives are more Katie Shahani, Kabir Gupta mentioned over here, or at least a social network that I was born to? Would you say that is more of a network? At least by way of upbringing from infancy? Did I have an original string of anything European in me? Is that why you were doing the no? Do I have any string of Europe in me? Even if it is Eastern Europe, it doesn't matter. Something Eastern European? Western European? Though I don't look like I'm from the west of Europe, not even the least bit. Eastern European? Western European? Indian? Why asking about JAYA.ADVANI? Indian? Pakistani national living in India? Pakistani national pretending to be Indian? Okay, so I think this answers it. We'll just get rid of this because this is pretty sad, frankly telling you. It's really pretty sad. So what we'll do is we'll just finish this. There is a fight also. Someone from Kuala Lumpur set the fight, pretending to be Kabir Gupta, according to me, but is not. These are the work of the shapeshifters. Your fight was set Kuala Lumpur. So we have Kuala Lumpur and SG over here. Singapore also and Malaysia also. They are all shapeshifters. For the original family, Kaushalya Advani would have no desire to create problems for Katie Shahani or then Hochand Advani. No, not at all. Nor would Mr. Kani Advani, the original, nor Kailash Advani. Now Kabir Gupta is their child. So he will never mess. But if it is a shapeshifter for him, or a shapeshifter for Varsha, or a shapeshifter for me, or a shapeshifter for Akhil, or a shapeshifter for anybody, where at the top, one by one, individually in the influential family, they put in nefarious people for 1111 person in every family in the Sindhis, then to lots of possibilities are available. But no insider will ever do this. First and foremost, to be able to leave things behind and restart life, you should understand what grit it takes, what confidence it takes in a lit powerful source, which is what most of these guys did. And they were also pretty successful. Not this, but the ones who actually had to restart life or were willing to, for the case of keeping things calm or then peaceful, were okay doing away with the extra money, getting enough, which was quite a bit in those days, but moving with family, primarily not being motivated by greed. Having an ethical response in most cases. We're going back to the 40s. They will never destroy their own. Not ever. You must understand Katie Shahani's magnanimous nature, helping nature for his own community, to give a go down and say, okay, Kani, you use it. He knows Kani will give it back if he doesn't need to use it, which Kani, my father, definitely would have done. But if it is a Hath Gadi Wala connected with the snakes versus the Sindhis, killing the Sindhis so the snakes can grow, forced transformation, that also underground movement. So he to subletted things, and the heavy handedness is the rear door entry in all the influential homes, parking their snakes in positions that are eminent. Then why do you want to bring a lady down to the fossil level? That is because you have plugged the families with infiltrators unknown to the originals. Everyone has little problems, but being Sindhis, everyone just says, move on, come on, okay, this is old age, come on, move on. Make things pleasant wherever you go. But even that is not enough for these people. Even that is not enough for these people. So what did they do? They went on a rampage, silent rampage of defaming, disreputing people. So anyway, always remember, there is a very big council in the afterlife. Those Atmas will decide for the wrongdoers, and their word will be taken as law. It has to be. As long as they didn't do the wrong thing, they did not harm anybody, and when they did some actions, they did appropriate actions, they are in a safe zone. It is you who was in a problem, you were born in a problem, you created more problems for yourself. Going forward, it is you only who will be in a problem. By dint of chosen action which affects your Atmic journey. That is the reason, without knowing where it is coming from, in the year 2017, what was said? The worstest slums on earth is a king's paradise compared to what place you have earned for yourself going forward. Now do you understand? अठन्नी चवन्नी के लिए तुमने करोड़ों का नुकसान किया है, ओ भोज तू ही उठाएगा. That's why.